Before we begin the interesting part of the video, I do need to do some explaining. It might be a little bit boring, but I think it is very necessary, so please bear with me. So on November 26th, which is Thanksgiving Day, Rinna gave birth to 7 kits in a nest, and it was beautifully made, and it was awesome. She fed them, and it was amazing, and I was so glad that this first-time mom was doing such a good job. The day after, Henwin, on November 27th, gave birth to 8 kits, made a beautiful nest in this very nest box that you're looking at, and she was the first-time mom doing an amazing job, and I was so pleased. So Rinna was feeding her babies and doing a great job being a good mom until about like 2 or 3 days into her being a first-time mom. All of a sudden, her babies were skinny, and I was like, well, sometimes you just so happen to come check on the babies like right before she's gonna nurse them. So she's like, hey, maybe I should nurse them. And you come in and you interrupt her, and she's like, oh, dang it. And then they haven't eaten for 12 hours, so they look skinny, but as soon as you leave, she's going to nurse them. So sometimes that happens, and so they don't always need to be super full. So I was like, maybe that's just what happened, and I'll leave, and she'll feed them, and it'll be great. When I checked on them in the night, though, they still weren't fed, and I was like, uh-oh, maybe the same thing happened that happened this morning, and maybe I'll see if she feeds them tonight, and then hopefully that works. But I was kind of getting a little bit worried. That next morning, they still weren't fed, so I was very sad and scared. I knew probably for sure that she wasn't nursing them. It wasn't just a coincidence. She was on purpose, either abandoned them or forgot about them, or something where her milk dried up, or something that was preventing her from feeding these babies. So these are really pretty babies, and these were the first babies of the season, and I could have just let them all die, and it would have been, that wouldn't be like a horrible choice. I know some of you guys would be like, what, don't do that, and some of you guys like, you should just let them die, but I felt like I could try some things to make them get better and get fed, so I was going to try that stuff. So I try to avoid bottle feeding babies whenever possible because it is super hard and stressful, and most of the time they die anyway. I decided to try, which I usually suggest to people is the first option you should always do if your mom isn't feeding the babies, is forcing the mama rabbit to nurse them. So you either flip her over on her back, or you hold her down, or you prop her up on your knees or something, and then put the babies under her and let them nurse while you hold her still. Sometimes this works, but for me, it didn't work. She'd stay still for a while, and they'd latch on, and they weren't getting any milk out, so she either wasn't letting her milk down, or she was out of milk, which was weird. It was almost like she was feeding another litter, which I was like, huh? That's weird. So she didn't have any milk, and then she would like wiggle and struggle, and we tried all these different things, put her in a box with them, hold her upside down, hold her right side up, different positions, different babies. It wasn't really working, so I was like, oh no, what do I do? I couldn't bottle feed them because I am never going to do that again if I can help it, and I didn't want to force them to nurse on Henwin because she was doing a great job this whole time, nursing her babies just fine, but I didn't want to take all her milk and make it so her babies didn't get fed, or maybe it was super stressful for her, so she's like, oh, I'm not going to take care of my babies because someone's forcing me to nurse someone else's babies. I didn't want this first-time doe to stop being a good mother because I forced her to nurse another rabbit's babies. So it's getting dark, and it's late, and it's getting really cold. It's supposed to be really cold the next few days, so I decided, hey, why don't I just stick these babies in with Henwin's babies? They're very skinny. Some of the runts are really, really skinny, and they look like they might not have enough food in them, and they might die during the night, and I'm really worried about them being able to stay warm, because if they're not full, they don't have, as much energy to spend on keeping warm. So let's try to save these babies and put them in with a thriving, awesome litter, and hopefully Henwin can adopt 15 babies and feed them all, and let's see what happens. Or at the very least, let's get them through this cold night with another litter so they have more chance of being alive and warm in the morning, so we can figure out what to do then. And I also was still thinking about how very interesting it was that Rinna didn't have any milk. And Rinna had been showing interest whenever I check Henwin's babies. Henwin would be over there like, what are you doing to my baby? She wasn't mean or stressed or anything. She was just like making sure I was doing a good job, like every good mama rabbit should. And Rinna was acting the same way. I was like, that's weird. So her acting like that and her milk not being there was very strange to me. And also, Henwin's babies weren't just well fed, they were huge. One time I had Lolo, and she only had 3 babies, and so they got to nurse all the teats, and they were huge, fat, humongous hippo babies, and it was amazing. But these guys, there were 8 of them, and they were getting the same amount of food. They were huge all the time. All the time. I was like, what? So all those three little weird things together made me think that maybe, just maybe, Rinna had adopted Henwin's litter and abandoned her own litter. The thing that I was afraid of whenever I put all the litters together was that if these super weak, small, skinny babies happened to die because they didn't have enough food, they could die, and then their dead bodies would get cold and then make the rest of the babies cold, and then cold babies die, they have to stay warm. So if I put these possibly dying babies in with the alive babies, they could all be dead. There was equally a chance that they would get nursed the next morning and it'd be fine and it'd be great. So I guess I could have just culled the weak ones and just let the strong ones live. But killing a newborn thing just because it's weaker than the others, and just, I don't know, when it could live a perfectly happy life, I could eat it even if it's small. I mean, that'd be good meat, so it'd be like throwing away meat, or I could sell it as a pet. I like to sell little ones as pets, so it's like throwing away $20. I don't know. And then just like, killing something because it's not as good as the other ones. I was like, I know some people do it. They cull like every litter that has more than like 8 or whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't think that's what I want to do. So I put everyone in there and I hoped for the best, and then I left for the night, and I came out the next morning to this. Alright, so I don't know how many are alive, how many are not. I see some wiggling in there, which is such a good sign. It got down to 21 degrees in the night, but it felt much colder, and so hopefully everything went okay. But I'm kind of nervous what with the really skinny babies being in here, and they could have died because they weren't fed enough, and then they could have chilled the rest of the litter, and so everyone could be dead, everyone could be alive, there could be some dead, some alive. So if you don't want to see dead babies, then maybe skip this video. But we're gonna open this nest up and see what's happening. Oh, and just a quick note, Henwin and both Henwin and Rinna seem very interested in what I'm doing. Alright, so ready? Let's see. I see wiggles. I see wiggles. Some people are alive. Yay. Alright, so I have my bowl. I'm gonna get some bedding. Put it in my bowl. I'm sorry it's so shaky and blurry. I would set the tripod down, except for the rabbits would knock it over, so I have to hold it in my hand, which when I'm doing other stuff with my other hand, it's hard to like focus and keep one hand steady, so it's gonna be a little blurry, but that's okay. So, look everyone. Oh, look at this. Look at this belly. It's full. Oh, happy day for me. Okay. Look at this belly. Look at the chubs. Okay, good. 1, 2, chubby. 3, chubby. Oh, little runt 7 didn't get fed. 11, not chubby. 12, not chubby. Looks like they didn't get a chance to nurse. 13, not chubby. 14, he's really chubby. 15, oh, look. He's a monster. Oh, he's so fat. Look at that, huge. So look at the difference between that baby and this baby. So it's so weird, the difference of being fed and being not fed. All right, let's put these guys back in the warmth. Okay, so out of 15 rabbits that Henwin had to feed all by herself, 12 of them were nice and full and round, and they made me so happy. 3 of them did not look fed, and 2 of those were the ones that looked super, super skinny and kind of emaciated from before, who probably were kind of the runts of Rinna's litter. I don't know, maybe Rinna did feed them too, or what, but so we have 12 for sure who are gonna make it, most likely, because I mean they're doing great. We have 3 that I'm gonna check on several times today in case one of them die. I don't want them to chill the rest of the litter, so I don't want to risk not checking on them and then having them all dead because one of them was dead and cold, or multiple were dead and cold, and then they got cold and chilled everyone else. But yay, they all survived. I was so afraid I was gonna wake up to like 15 dead babies. It'd be so sad. Okay, all alive, and most all of them are fed, which is so awesome. So yeah, maybe these little ones will make it till next feeding and be able to get a spot. And rabbits usually only have, I believe, 8 to 10 teeth, so the fact that 12 of them are nice and fat is really awesome. So I'm not surprised that they're not all completely fed, but if Henwin and Rinna were feeding them, I'd be more expecting them to, all be fed. But we'll see how it goes, and I'm going to check on them later. So, yay! Oh, and one more thought. Maybe Rinna will adopt this nest, Henwin's babies, just because her own babies are gone. Like, she smells her nest, she's like, oh, my babies are gone. And so maybe she just adopts Henwin's nest anyway, because we took her babies away. And so then she will feed her own babies by thinking they're Henwin's. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if that's ever happened before, but that might maybe happen because she's just all of a sudden showing very much interest in Henwin's babies. So I don't know if that's because she's adopted them before I took her babies away or after. So no idea, but it's good. Probably. All right, they're still warm, which is good. It's we checked them first at 8 in the morning ish, and now it's like 2. So it's kind of, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but I can tell in person the difference between the 1 day olds or the day older people, and then these ones. I think these guys are 4 days old, and these guys are like 3 days old. But I can totally tell the difference between them because, like, the fur. So these ones have so much more fur, whereas these guys don't. It's very interesting. And they're all huge except for those 3, but they're still really big. They all are alive. No one is dead. It's doing awesome. Then we're gonna put them back and check on them later. Henwin has been over here checking out what we're doing, and Rinna has come over too, which I find very interesting. So maybe they are co-parenting. I don't know. Just found a little scratch on this one. This is one reason why it's very good to do checkups on them all the time. So this could have been from last night when we were trying to nurse them on Rinna, or it could have been just from their siblings. So we will keep an eye on that and hopefully it doesn't get infected. All right, it is evening and we're gonna check on them again. Hopefully they have been already fed. If not, that's all right. But it'd just be nice to make sure everyone gets fed. So let's do that. Checking on them now. Oh, good. Look at that. Oh, so happy. Let's see if those 3 that didn't get fed this morning got fed now. Look at these fat babies. This guy especially, he's like huge. We found a skinny baby who didn't get fed for like 2 days, and he's full, which is so good. He's so little and kind of bony, but he's full now. So we had really small one, and then we had another solid one, and then we had an otter looking one. Uh-oh. This guy, he looks kind of like he was skinny, but he's fed too. Like, you can tell the difference between like a really nicely fed one that's been fed for a long time, kind of has more meat on their bones. And then this guy, while he is fed, he kind of looks more like, just like he has one good meal instead of several. So I can kind of tell. But so everyone looks pretty fed. We've yet to find one who isn't fed. Is that the last?
Yeah, I haven't been.
Yay! So everyone was fed, even the 3 that hasn't been fed this morning. So that's really good. So Henwin is always interested in what we're doing with her babies, and Rinna is interested in what we're doing with these babies. So part of me is hoping or thinking that maybe she has adopted this litter. So she either adopted Henwin's litter and then abandoned her own babies, or because we put her babies with Henwin's babies, she adopted them. I don't know which one, but I'm hoping and thinking that that's probably the case because everyone is so full, and one rabbit feeding 15 babies and getting them all full is very unlikely. So I think we have 2 moms and nursing 2 litters in the same place, which is awesome. So I just noticed something not very good. So here's what happened. I came in. This was like 5 seconds ago. I came in, stepped over, closed the door behind me, and then looked. And look, there's a dead, partly eaten baby bunny. Then I ran to grab the camera. So my guess is someone gave birth, because this baby doesn't look like it's from the nest of Rinna and Henwin. So all right, let's check stuff and see what's happening, because I have no idea if this is just one of many kits that are dead and eaten, or if this just happened to be the first one that came out and then she ran to a nest box and gave birth to the rest of them, or if this is the only kit that whoever gave birth to. So I have no idea. All right, let's see if we can figure this out. All right, so this nest box looks, it's hard to see. Let's see if we can get our light in there better. Empty. All right, this one looks empty except for Pepper. This one looks empty. This one looks empty, I think. This one is full of cute babies. This one is empty. This one is empty. This one is empty. Okay, okay, so there are no other babies that are needing my attention. So now I'm going to turn to this one. It looks like it only has, all right, it has one arm. And I wonder if the blood is pooling in the nails or not. If it isn't, then I might just pull it anyway, because I don't think this bunny will be able to live, or if it will, it would be a very painful, hard life. So I'm going to, even if it isn't dead and just frozen, I'm going to cull it and kill it anyway. So, okay, so the body is now taken care of. I don't know if that was a premature baby that wasn't supposed to be born yet and was born, or if whoever gave birth was a first-time mom and didn't know what to do. I don't know if that's the only kid that's supposed to be born, or if there are more somewhere that I don't know about, or if there are more soon to come. I don't know who the mom is or was. I don't know what I should do to help this new mom if she has more kids inside of her. So we know for sure the mom isn't Ronwin because he's a boy. We know, well, Rinna and Henwin probably aren't the moms, though sometimes they can have weird things happen where the first time they like retain kids and then have to give birth later or whatever, but I don't think it is them. So probably not, but there's a chance maybe. That'd be kind of weird for that to happen though. It could be, let's see, Lolo is like almost 4 years old. She'll be 4 in February, so it could be her, and this is just her declining from being a good rabbit mom, so she needs to be culled. Or this could be a first-time mom who doesn't know what to do, like Sayla or Adelaide, or Ivy is somewhere as well. Or Pepper, who is this would be her second time being a mom, could just randomly have done a bad job because she's kind of been hiding from the buck because she doesn't want to get bred. But I don't know. So I guess it's either Lolo, the super old mom, or one of the new moms, most likely. So if I see any more babies or anything, I'm gonna tell you guys and film about it, because this is kind of I'm wondering like what is happening. So yeah. So I'm noticing just about here that there are a few bits of what look like maybe placenta or something red and kind of gross looking. So I don't know who that's from, but it hasn't been there before, so I think this is from whoever doe had that poor little kit. So that's something interesting to note for sure. So getting back to the normal things, today's treat for the rabbits is beets. So hopefully this keeps the does distracted as they're checking their babies. They don't really care that much about what we're doing, but it's always nice to not have them underfoot when we're checking the babies. So let's check them now. All right, hopefully everyone's full, or at least alive. Here they are. Hi. So again, all the babies are full. Yesterday morning, only 12 of them were full and 3 were empty still. Last night, all of them were full, and this morning, all of them are full, even the little runty ones. So I have a very strong suspicion, and I really do think this is the case, that both Rinna and Henwin are co-parenting these babies. So that is really good news and kind of random. I never thought this would ever happen. I haven't ever heard of this happening before. Mom rejecting her litter and then nursing another litter and then putting them together so they nurse. I don't know. That's really cool, and I'm grateful that I was able to do the right thing. Instead of culling Rinna's litter because she wasn't feeding them, I put them in with Henwin and actually put them in with Henwin and Rinna now so that they can both nurse them. They're all doing good. So even if Rinna isn't nursing them though, Henwin is doing a stellar job, but I really think she doesn't have enough milk to feed 15 babies twice a day and get them all full. So I really do think it is 2 dose feeding them. So yeah, I think I'm going to stop the twice a day updates, and if anything interesting happens, like they aren't fed anymore or something, then I'm going to do another one. But I think I'm going to stop the twice a day updates now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this part. So I came out, it's after lunch, and I found 3 more babies who look dead. One of them has all 4 limbs and doesn't have any wounds, but he has blood in the nails. This guy is missing an arm. This guy is missing an ear and has part of his leg kind of like eaten off. So I don't know who the mom is of these guys still, so I'm going to dispatch them just in case they are alive. But even if they were still alive, they have such bad wounds. I'd hate for them to feel all that pain, and also they probably will die anyway. So it is very normal for first-time mamas to do a bad job. So while this is super sad, I'm not super worried about it. I'm not gonna worry that, oh no, my rabbits are always gonna have bad litters or something. No, it's just the first-time moms you commonly do a bad job. So this is very sad, but it's usual. Alright, so I just missed it. I ran to grab the camera, but I just saw Rinna nursing the 2 litters. I checked on them like 2 minutes ago, and they were nice and full, and then Rinna goes in and feeds them. So no wonder they're so fat. They were already so full, and now Rinna fed them again. So I don't know how many times a day each mom is feeding them, but that is awesome. So now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, both moms, Rinna and Henwin, are feeding both litters in this same nest. I'm so glad I put Rinna's nest in with Henwin's so that they can share moms. I didn't know that was happening, that Rinna adopted Henwin's nest at the time, but now I do. I'm so glad I did. So that is a happy end to the story. So everyone is being fed all the time. It's doing amazingly and great, and I'm so happy and glad. So yeah, I think we're gonna end the video here, unless something else important happens, but probably this will be the end. You're being a good girl. You're the best mommy. You're the best one. Yeah. Letting another mom nurse your babies and adopting her litter too. Doing such a good job, yeah. Yeah.